So I'm going to explain something to you guys because it's going to be a little hard to explain. When I tell it to organize, say, the top layer of the album, this is the top layer of the album. I didn't say it like that. I said organize the album. But what it does, organize the top layer of the album. But it doesn't go into the individual album to see if there's an album inside an album. It loves creating albums. It loves creating documents and duplicates. And that causes a lot of problems when you're using these AI systems. That is something that I'm trying to break right now and figure out the terminology to use so it stops doing that. A mess. It is a mess. Again, I may be recreating the wheel. I don't think a lot of people are doing this exactly the way I'm doing it. And because when I first started music, of course, I wasn't organizing things the way they should have been organized because I just been in this sprint of learning things. And before I put out the Spanish album, I want this organized because am I insane? Semi went well. The Romanian one, still closer to going well. The Spanish one, I want it to be perfect. And in order for that to be perfect, when I automate that system, I need all these layers to be in order. So every step I make it take notes. I make it tell itself what it did wrong and what it needs to fix. This has been a nightmare of a process. This is not easy. Why am I doing this? Because everything I do is about being the human guiding the system. I don't want somebody else's blueprint. I want my own blueprint. I'm building my own system. I'm making sure everything is original to me so anything ever comes back to me and they cannot say this is not mine. I have too much metadata. This is the future, and this is going to be very important for people to do. It's going to be very important to keep up with your metadata. It is everything. I'm going deeper. Every time I do something, it's going deeper to explain to it what I'm doing because it's going to find files and it's wondering, well, why did she put that label on it? I got to guide it. So, for instance, for a French file, I always have brackets. So for French, I only know that I'm doing one language that starts with an F. That's French. So I put F for French, and then F for female. F for French, M for male. F for French, D for duet. Then if it's my number one song, then I put a 1 there. It's the first album. It's not if it's an album, it's the first album. Then if it's the second song on the first album, then it'll be FF1, number 2, because it's the second song on the album. So I have labels for everything. And then putting together a database of what my abbreviations are that I use. With AI, you don't have to follow anybody else's rules. All that stuff about getting to this point where you need to do this way and this way for things to work, you don't have to do that. You can do things according to what you want. Again, everything I do is doing things original to me and how things work for me. We're outside of the system now. Forget the system. We're creating our own. So when I get out there and you want to hire me to work for your business, you best believe everything I do for you will be original. It will be according to what you want and not a template and not an answer that everybody was told that it had to be. I'm not doing that anymore. I don't have to. So I want you to hear how I've been doing this for months, this own filing system that my brain made up, and it's going to tell you that.
Your system already exists. I pulled it out of 3,816 files.
3,000.
And it is more consistent than you think. The language and voice code, in parentheses, at the front. This is the one you just described to me, and you have been using it all along, code block. Everyone is female except 2 Hindi male files. So the F is not decoration, it is a real field you have been filling in correctly for months. The platform and purpose word at the front, no parentheses, code block. So the shape you have been using without writing it down is language plus voice, then album, song, then the platform word, then the title. Your new rule fits it exactly. FF11 is French female, album 1, song 1. You are not inventing a system tonight. You are finishing one. 2 real inconsistencies to decide. The platform word sits in front on some files, and the code sits in front on others. YT obey. The DJ versus EF 2, 4, no purity test. One order, and I would put the code first because it sorts your whole drive into language and album order.
Yes, I want it to sit in front. I do not want it in back. So make sure all the files do exactly that. I want the format in front before the name of the song or album. Also knowing it is layers. So if it's album 1 and it's labeled, if it's an all-female album, it's labeled, say, FF, and then parentheses 1, that's album 1. French female album 1. If it's an album with a duet, it'll be the same way. FD album 1. Then underneath that will be the songs, and then it'll have all those other parts to it. So we're organizing the system so you get an idea of what I'm doing. And this is why you guys haven't seen me, because the questions never stop. The organization never stops. Because if I can get this right with these albums, to me, these last 2 albums are like my first albums. All the old stuff just wasn't me. These sounds and styles, I changed them 1,000 times to try to make them as original as possible into what I want. And that's the same thing as when it comes to this organization. I want this system I'm building to be as original as it can be to what I want, not copying anybody else. So there are files that are embedded with my ISRC. And so if you done music, you know what an ISRC is. Well, now I know I have my own. I bought a lot of them, and I don't need my distributor adding them. I own my ISRC. So I embed them in my music. I had the system do that for me. I downloaded the original song, and then it embedded the ISRC in it. When it did that, it creates 2 WAV files. The original one I did, and the one they embedded the ISRC in. I have to tell the system that, otherwise it's not going to know, because those are not 2-in-1. I want to keep the original, and I want to keep the one with the ISRC embedded. So I had told him that. And then there's another question I'm going to ask right now after that, because it already did what I told it to do. It has now a file that says delivery MP3 and then delivery AV and MP3. If you have both the WAV and the MP3 in that one file, then why do you have the MP3 separated by itself on the thing? Move it out. You already have it identified in another area. So let me explain that and see what it comes back with. So you did find and you did organize them according to the ones that had the ISRC embedded. Remember, I want to keep the original that does not have the ISRC embedded. We can label it original, WAV, original MP3, because we need to keep that for our metadata. But I also noticed that you put delivery MP3, and then you have, which is embedded, and then you have delivery WAV and MP3 together. Is that the one also have embedded in it? And why do you have it twice then? If we already have it in one area, we don't need it in the other area by itself. If it says delivery, that means it does have the ISRC in it. So why are we putting the MP3 in there and with its own file? We need to fix that. I have to tell it a lot because it really doesn't get it with simplicity. It already moved it. Before I can show you guys, it already moved it, but you're gonna see right here, it put it in a file that I delete the duplicate. And there it is, all these are duplicate. So now it has its own where it delivered right here. It has the MP3, and then it's gonna have probably the WAV files here, okay? So now they're in their own home, they're not together. And last video, it cut me off how I was saying, why does it have the WAV and the MP3 in that folder? And then they have an MP3 by itself, and they both say deliver. It's because one's an original. If it's an original, it was not delivered. The ones that were delivered are embedded with the ISRC. So it went back and it fixed it. The original sound goes with the song it belongs to. It's the original, it's not embedded. And the ones that are delivered are gonna go in their own folder. Eventually, I'm gonna go to the next step. I just want to organize them. Then, once I have the ones that are delivered with the ISRC in them, then I'm gonna take them out, put it in the song that it wants with the abbreviations that I want. I don't want it to look like this. I don't want it to say EF2 delivery video. I don't see the name of what that belongs to. So it's another code that I'm gonna put in there. I'm gonna put English first album. This is actually, I'm in the English album, so let's not talk about the FF. I don't want to confuse you guys, that's why I'm bringing it up. I'm in the English album right now, so that's why it starts with an E. E, English, F, female. And then 2, it's album number 2. And then each song 1, 2, 3. So E, F, 2, 2. Now I'm gonna do this. If the song is embedded with the ISRC, that means it was delivered. So I'm gonna break it down to F2, song 1, D, delivered. Now I can go back into the album it belongs to, and I remove it from the top here. This is pieces and pieces. I hope you guys are following me. I'm gonna keep on going with this until I have every piece of this whole area is called my music empire. I have my video empire. I have a lot to go, but if I can fix this, it can follow the same structure, and you can see how I'm building the map. I'm building the map. I'm building the map. Again, if I'm gonna be hired by someone, I best get my system ready because I want to be this detailed with what they want. Original. I'm not going to give you all the answers. I'm going to give you the structure, and you're going to help me build your system. my music and all that, that's the proof of all the hard work I'm doing to keep things original. Just trying to give you an idea of what I do, because this is amazing. I created a delete me here. It's superseded by where it's supposed to be. Either it's superseded with something better and more organized, or it's superseded because it's a duplicate. Inside there, it's duplicates. Because I moved all the original wave files where it belongs inside the song, and the delivered ones with the ISRC in them where it belongs in the album. You start with the album, you get the song in that album, you go inside that song, you put the original wave and the delivered wave. And that is where it ends, not a folder within a folder. It's just getting more organized like what you're seeing here. We're going to, this is your delete one. No one, absolutely no one should just delete. Do not let AI delete for you. You delete your files. You review it, you make sure you don't want it, and you delete it and empty that trash. Be confident. I emptied it out. I'm confident because I'm setting up the system to make sure that I review it. A human eye should always review, because AI can make mistakes. So yes, I created, and I want that delete button in my face, not hidden somewhere and all that. If I'm working in the Am I Insane, I want that right here. I want to see it. So what I did now is I took the wave files that was the original one that I took off the music system, and I put an O for original. The delivered one, I put a D for delivered. So we're going to that album layer. This is the delete one that I have in the album. This is tells you what the layers are. This is what this is being built right here. Then you go to your first song on album. You see the abbreviations there. Then we go to here. This is the audio. You go into the audio. Then you see the other abbreviations. The album, it's English Female Album 2, Song 1, Original. That is the MP3. That is a WAV file. These are all originals. This means what? Delivered. That means that the file was delivered with the ISRC number. That means those two files carry the ISRC number in them. And this is definitely going to be the last one, because honestly, it's going to tell you what kind of where I'm at now. These numbering system for me was getting too long, so I needed to shorten it in some way. So I was thinking, how can we do this? Should we put when we end up on layer 4 of the numbers, that's when things change. So this will be the same in almost every album. It will remain the same, these first 3 layers, and then Am I Insane? So when I was up here, you can see how long that's getting. I don't like that, because I want to be able to see the whole name of the song. I want to be able to see with my eyes the whole name of the song. So I said something like, what about doing part 1 done, part 2 done, part 3 done, which means the other parts were done. It gave a better suggestion, and I'm going to let it tell you, because this will take me forever.
Yes, and you have found the right instinct. The code is growing because I put every fact in front of the name. The name should come first.
She says fact because you need to know the fact. You can research this yourself, but everything has to have certain types of facts for it to understand why things are happening the way they're happening.
Here is the fix, and it costs you nothing. Move the detail behind the song name. Keep only the address in front. Code block. The song name now sits at character 11, always on every file. You see it without scrolling in every folder forever. And the stage number does what you said. It is a step, not a description. Code block. A higher number means every step below it is done. A file marked 2 is finished and tagged. You never have to read the earlier stages, because reaching stage 2 proves stage 1 happened. Exactly. That is exactly what you just described.
Mm-hmm.
And on the V, you could not remember, you are right to question it. It meant video, and it is now
I didn't
redundant.
ask for that.
Stages 3, 4, and 5 are all video. The letter was doing nothing, so it goes. Quality and shape only appear where they change what you do. Landscape 4K and Landscape 1080 are 2 different uploads, so they say so. Nothing else needs it. Say the word and I convert the album to this. The prefix stops at song number, and the name is always visible.
See? So that was a good idea. We named the first 3 parts in the front, and then the rest of it behind the name of the song. And yeah, this is coming along. There's going to be more steps. The system is done. It's one part of my music empire system, and as you can see, my eyes are red, so it means I need to go to bed. But I did sleep until 11:30 today, so I did get 8 hours plus of sleep last night. That was amazing. But here, it is done. So it should be able to take this data and use it on every single future album that's coming. This is just organizing the system to when the album started, it's been distributed and it's ready to come off the shelf and go be filed into the library, and I work on the next one.